ऑल गुड भैया।
मेरा
अब
बैकग्राउंड
देखते हैं
लाउड है क्या?
क्वेश्चंस कितने आते हैं।
नहीं, मेरा बैकग्राउंड लाउड है।
हाँ सॉरी,
मेरा बैकग्राउंड लाउड है क्या?
थोड़ा सा, इतना नहीं चलेगा।
ओके।
नो इश्यूज।
नहीं, क्योंकि टीवी चल रहा है
चलो फिर।
पीछे, तो वो एक एंगल है।
अरे कोई नहीं भैया, कोई नहीं। तो अब तो स्पीकर्स आते जा रहे हैं।
यार एक और क्वेश्चन है, if I can ask.
हाँ गो एड भाई, गो एड।
I mean, how do you compare Tejas Mark 1A with JF-17 Block 3? I mean,
मॉक 1 है वर्सेस थंडर ब्लॉक 3। सी, मैं पर्सनली इसमें नहीं पढ़ता हूँ यार। मतलब ए वर्सेस बी वाला जो कॉन्सेप्ट रहता है, आई पर्सनली अवॉइड दैट बिकॉज a lot depends on what's your formation is, what kind of weapon package you have, what kind of force multiplier you have in air. That's based on that, the mission output, you get it right. So ये ना मतलब it's not just one fighter jet that gives you the results. It is like everything together. Then comes your ability to talk to all of those flawlessly and then deliver the weapon package seamlessly. Now, Thunder Block 3 is a good fighter jet. There are few limitations. One of those is like it has got an ASA which is air cooled. Now, we all know that ASA is a radar that requires a lot of cooling, and air cooled is like something which will limit its ability to, keep it on for longer. So that is one of those limitations which I foresee. And then another problem which I see with Thunderblock 3 is that it still uses, those Eastern Bloc engines, right? So these are like few things which we have to look at. But then the advantage it has got is like PL-15, which is a longer range PVR. So that's another thing. So it's a fairly balanced thing. But if you start looking into the technological aspect, naturally Mark 1A will be a better uh, technological aircraft. But again, as I said, result depends on multiple factors, and if we consider all of that, these are like pretty balanced fighter jets.
yeah, I mean PL-15 की वजह से I think उनको थोड़ा edge है. मतलब we have to use Rafale for counter them. और China
In a way, yeah, but see, you have to first of all, you should look at that holistic picture. Okay, so when we talk about India and Pakistan, we're gonna meet only in mountains, most likely. In plains like Rajasthan or Gujarat, I don't think we're gonna meet there. And when we talk about warfare in mountains, especially aircrafts flying low, BVR becomes. I will not say that it becomes obsolete or something, but it is like it becomes difficult there. And then you should look at the distance between Skardu and Kargil. It's hardly 100 kilometer. So from that aspect, when you see that the maximum range of BVR is not very big factor. But then again, I said, having a BVR which has longer range gives you a better capability. Uh, Additionally, Thunder is like something which they can produce at faster rate. The advantage was that they ordered that aircraft, the initial lot in good number, and then follow up lot. They started inducting Thunders when they were not even mature enough. So they understand how to build up the number. That is the advantage of working along with Americans. They were Pakistanis were working along with American Air Force at some point of time, and that gave them uh, a lot of understanding of building the numbers. And I think that is one of those things which gives Thunder a significant edge. Like the rate at which they have produced the aircraft, inducted the aircraft, made them operational, and then trained their pilots. So if we consider that, they have like significant edge there.
Okay, and one last question. Akash, NG ka range, I mean, if you have any idea.
I think this is one of those things where we've been debating a lot. So I'll give you like tits and bits. Okay, and that Akash NG is supposedly two pulse missile system, and when we talk about the missile system, and if we calculate the grains, like we know the dimensions of the missile, like length, width, and we do the calculation based on the grains. My calculation goes around somewhere around 80 kilometers. That is my calculation. Okay, but actually the stated numbers which we have it in public domain is 30 kilometers, which does not make sense to me. Reason being, QR SAM with a smaller profile and like grains which has more uh, oxidizers involved in this. And if you see that QR SAM as a baseline, I don't think the missile system will have 30-kilometer range, but the stated number is 30 kilometers.
Yeah, अगर 70
Actually, the
kilometer range
Akash,
है.
Akash NG was actually being developed under the extended range SORAT project. If you look at the available articles 8 or 10 years ago, you will find that there was a requirement of a 50-kilometer range surface to air missile.
Yeah,
50 kilometer.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
50
लेकिन अगर
kilometer.
70 kilometer भी अगर range है, I mean we already have MRSM, right? I mean
No, those are two different things. Okay, MRSAM,
Different things, right?
because MRSAM we have got it. That is a lot of the technology on MRSAM comes from Israel, and it is like same thing. MRSAM is basically it uses the same concept as Dornier or BrahMos, right? Most of it remains with the OEM. We have some contribution into that, and we get some benefit out of that. But considering that MRSAM being a 50-50% joint production, that is not right. And this is why we need a system in the same regime, right? And this is where I believe Akash NG comes in.
Exactly, but there is a counter logic as well. Suppose our existing Akash, doesn't matter if it becomes 1S or 1P, is still based on the modern SS6 or gainful missile. It's still old. You need something to replace it. That means you still need a modern 30-kilometer range surface to air missile. QRSM has totally different domain. It is a mobile surface to air missile, just to provide the air cover to the advancing armored column to replace the existing OSA platforms. So QRSAM not the replacement of the existing Akash. On the other hand, as Ms. Subodh was also saying, that I was also saying that the Akash NG was being developed under the extended range SORAT. So 50 kilometer was the requirement, but at that time it couldn't be met. So it also can be justified by the 30 kilometer logic that the current Akash will replace the legacy Akash systems. But once again, if you say that the current Akash NG will replace the Akash, then which indigenous equivalent will replace the existing MRSAM or LRSAM? You need something now. You need something for the 100% indigenous capability. You can't be depend always on Israel. So there are two contradicting always points is coming in. So at this point, I think we cannot do anything. Just can guess the best and leave to the Minister of Defense what they say. That's the thing only.
अभी जो
just one point on that. What we've been talking about, specifically in the context of replacement, like Akash, we know that we are still in the process of induction training and maturing the platform. The baseline Akash, the initial version which we are talking about, we recently acquired a lot of them. So it is at this moment we will not be replacing Akash with NG. That is at least underlined. Certainly we need a system which like Akash has issues. We all know that it's bulky system. It cannot be canisterized. So if we look at NG solves all those problems. So if you look at from the perspective of replacement, it ticks all the boxes. But then the thing is, like, if we talk about what Sankalan said, right? 50 kilometers is what intended thing was. And if you consider that, like, say, for example, if it was supposed to go to 50 kilometers with two pulses, and with a, like, we know that in two pulses what happens is, like, a pulse fires up, then there's a pause because a missile is already in momentum, it does not require energy, and then second pulse goes on, right? So maybe this 30 kilometer is the calculation based on the like continuous firing of the pulses without considering that. We know that DRDO has done that in past, that they they give us the data based on the experimental data, right? So maybe this was tested for the continuous pulses, and then that data is published. Or maybe there was a requirement from the services that they needed a system that has range of 30 kilometers, but dimension allowed DRDO to go for a system which could go and hit at much longer ranges. So there are possibilities. At this point of time, we cannot say that with a surety that this is what the system is, right? This is what the range is. But it is always good to have a system which we know that it's a potent system, it is highly capable system, it can be modified for even longer ranges.
Sure,
But
I think we'll go.
is it one last, if you can allow? Yeah, I mean, is it wise to order them into regiment? अभी मतलब order किया है, considering it cannot be canisterized.
One is indigenous seeker. One is platform.
Yeah.
One.
1S and Prime are like very, very different systems. Okay, there was a lot of see, recently what has happened is with the push on eastern borders, we have seen that all our systems are modified in a way that they become even more potent in mountainous terrain, uh, specifically on the border with China. So it is this new system which we are talking about, the recent two, they were optimized for the China border. So if you consider that, it is wise. It is, and then the cost of Akash allows you to induct them in large number. So that is another factor.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yep. Who was the next guy? If you remember, it was Eagle, I guess. Yeah, Eagle, go ahead with your question.
Good evening, everyone. I have two questions. One is very much a hypothetical scenario. Like we know that Chinese have very large rocket forces, whether it's combination of short-range ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, or long-range rockets. In conflict scenario, if they goes for very high level of offensive against our military installations with this rocket force, what can be the scenario of our restraining or saving our assets or launching and counter retaliation in this scenario, only specifically with the Chinese borders or a conflict with Chinese, if we keep Pakistan aside? And the second question is looking into the subsurface fleet or the submarine fleet of the Chinese Navy or Indian Navy, what is the situation can be in future for the defensive and offensive roles? Thank you.
I am really sorry. Like since he was breaking up, like is it my internet? I'm not very sure
No,
if
no,
I.
he was breaking up. He was breaking up.
So I couldn't understand the question properly. And let's do this. Okay.
Eagle, you can DM me your question. I'll just message it to Subodh bhai.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure, I think. Then it was, I guess, Amit Raj. Yeah, go ahead, Amit bhai.
My only question is why Air Force is like उनको मतलब अब कोई एक्विजिशंस और जो भी कुछ करने थे लाइक सब पे मतलब इतना सही से नहीं हो पा रहा है एंड यू कैन सी दैट द स्क्वाड्रन स्ट्रेंथ इज गोइंग डाउन डे बाय डे अब नॉट ईयर बाय ईयर सॉरी तो अभी चाइना को काउंटर प्लान करने के लिए इंडिया के पास अगर आप देखो तो फाइटर प्लेन में मोस्टली फोर जनरेशन की फाइटर प्लेन है हमारे पास एक्सेप्ट 36 रफेल तो क्या प्लान हो सकता है मतलब अगर अगर चाइना से अटैक आता है एयरफोर्स से तो मिग 29 सुखोई से आर वी एबल टू
सॉरी भाई, गो एड सॉरी, गलती से दब गया था, सॉरी।
हाँ, तो यही है मेरा क्वेश्चन बस। एयरफोर्स को लेकर बहुत कंसर्न है, क्योंकि एयरफोर्स में किसी ने कुछ दिखा ही नहीं रहा है, मतलब कि कुछ हो भी रहा है
ओके,
उसमें।
बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है आपका, और आई आंसर दिस इन टू पार्ट्स। ओके, देखिए, पहला पार्ट, कभी भी हम लोग फाइटर जेट अक्वायर करते हैं, जब स्पेसिफिकली जो मॉडर्न जनरेशन के ये जो फाइटर जेट्स हैं आप अक्वायर करते हैं, तो इसके एक्विजिशन में टाइम लगता है। देयर वाज अ टाइम हम लोगों ने दो प्रोजेक्ट शुरू किए थे। एक FGFA प्रोजेक्ट शुरू किया था, वेयर वी वर सपोज टू अक्वायर T-50, पाकपा T-50, दैट इवेंचुअली बिकेम Su-57। ठीक है, तो उस वो प्रोजेक्ट में हम लोग जॉइंट को डेवलपमेंट कर रहे थे रशिया के साथ में, और वो एक एक प्रोजेक्ट था। और दूसरा प्रोजेक्ट था दैट वाज MRFA, MMRCA एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, फ्रॉम विच यू वर सपोज टू गेट 126 रफाल। नाउ वो आपने जब से शुरू किया और जब तक वो चलता चला गया, दैट वाज लाइक 5-7 साल आपने उसमें वेस्ट किया है। उसके बाद उसमें कुछ हो नहीं पाया। देन व्हाट यू डिसाइडेड कि है ना, स्टॉप गैप के तौर पर आप 36 रफाल अक्वायर कर लें, क्योंकि डेंजरसली लो लेवल पर हम लोग वो वहां पर पहुंच चुके थे। अब वो सिनेरियो क्या था आपको समझना पड़ेगा, कि पॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन क्या थी जब जब वो डिसीजन लिए जा रहे थे। ठीक है, कंट्री में है ना, मतलब 2G स्पेक्ट्रम वाला केस हुआ था। अब आई डोंट वांट टू कॉल दैट एज एन स्कैम, बिकॉज वो प्रूव नहीं हुआ है। ठीक है, कोई जेल नहीं गया, तो वो क्या था आई डोंट नो। लेकिन उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पर उस समय की गवर्नमेंट वाज स्कैर्ड ऑफ डूइंग डील्स, बिकॉज एक नॉइस इतनी ज्यादा हो जा रही थी कि स्कैम हो गया, स्कैम हो गया, एंड पीपल वर रेडी टू बिलीव इट विद द काइंड ऑफ यू नो जो सेटअप था उस समय। तो वो उसके चलते है ना, मतलब इतना ज्यादा प्रेशर था मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ डिफेंस के ऊपर, दैट दे कुड डू मच अबाउट इट। इवन इफ दे वांटेड टू, दे कुडंट डू इट। और वो एक पीरियड में हम लोगों ने कुछ भी नहीं खरीदा, दैट रिजल्टेड इन डिलेस। वो एक इनिशियल डिलेस हुआ। उसके बाद आपने 36 रफाल खरीदे, क्योंकि आपको स्टॉप गैप चाहिए था। देन व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इज यू अक्वायर्ड 40 तेजस आफ्टर दैट। फिर उसके बाद यू हैव गिवन अ ऑर्डर फॉर 83 तेजस मार्क 1A, and then you came out of FGFA program because you wanted to fund in your own fifth generation fighter jet। अगर हम लोग Su-57 के साथ में जाते, तो इवेंचुअली क्या होता, जो चीज यू नो इसके साथ में Su-30 के साथ में हुई थी, कि आप सिस्टम बना तो रहे हैं घर यहाँ पर, लेकिन उसके ऊपर पूरा टेक्नोलॉजिकल होल्ड नहीं रहता आपका। तो वो प्रॉब्लम बनी रहती वहां पर। और दूसरा, उसके स्टेल्थ को लेकर भी एक था कि वेस्टर्न रेट्स पर आपको फाइटर जेट पड़ रहा है, लेकिन आपको आइटम 30 इंजन नहीं मिल रहा है। तो वो सब चीजों को कंसिडर करते हुए दे केम आउट ऑफ Su-57 program। When you have invested $2 billion in a program and then you come out of it, which means it is uh, you know big thing, है ना। और आपने केवल $2 बिलियन नहीं, आपने वहां पे 5-7 साल भी इन्वेस्ट किए। तो क्या होता है कि अब आपने ना जब 36 रफाल खरीदे, उसके बाद से जो सिचुएशन बनी हुई है, वहां से चीजें आगे नहीं बढ़ पाई। ठीक है, अभी आपके पास में एक प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि say for example we start doing, like say for example we go with the rafales, politically it is highly charged। Can current government afford to do a rafale deal before elections? I don't think so। पॉलिटिकल हूं मैं इस बात में, लेकिन आपको ना ये चीज समझनी पड़ेगी कि ना जो करंट डिस्पेंसेशन है, उनकी हिम्मत नहीं होगी टू डू अ डील एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, नोइंग दैट कि ऑपोजिशन इज वेटिंग फॉर इट। तो आपको ये एक एंगल कंसिडर करना पड़ेगा। देन द थिंग इज लाइक, अगर आप 24 के बाद में, 1 साल के बाद में आप है ना वहां पर अगर डिसीजन लेते हैं, तो आपको 3 साल लगेगा वहां से फाइटर जेट मिलने में। ऑफ द शेल्फ ले सकते हैं, लेकिन आप कितने ऑफ द शेल्फ फाइटर जेट ले सकते हैं, ये आपको कंसिडर करना पड़ेगा। ठीक है, तो सभी चीजों को आप कंसिडर करेंगे, तो उस वजह से यहाँ पर चीजें डिले होती हुई दिख रही हैं। और यहाँ पर क्या हुआ है कि I don't know. I'm sensing there's a tussle between government of India, public sector, uh, you know, uh, aircraft maker and the services. क्योंकि ये जो मार्क टू की जो रोल आउट है ना, वो जो डिले हुई है, वहां उसके वजह से क्या हो रहा है कि एक और डिबेट शुरू हो रहा है कि एडिशनल ऑर्डर ऑफ मार्क वन है। तो कहीं ना कहीं वो पुश भी आया है कि मार्क टू इज नॉट, यू नो, नॉट माई प्रायोरिटी। जो मेकर्स हैं उनकी तरफ से आप है ना एडिशनल मार्क वन ले लो। तो ये सिनेरियो क्रिएट किए जा रहे हैं, देयर आर मल्टीपल एस्पेक्ट्स। और ये सब चीजों को अगर आप देखोगे ना तो एक चीज और समझ में आएगी कि इंडियन एयरफोर्स की तरफ से भी अभी तक वो जो बोलते हैं ना एओएन के लिए फाइल जा रही है जा रही है जा रही है, वही चीज चल रही है। क्योंकि इंडियन एयरफोर्स भी ये चीज जानती है कि उनको एक ऐसा फाइटर जेट चाहिए जो इट इज गेटिंग देम सम कैपेबिलिटी बट नॉट द कैपेबिलिटी ऑफ फ्यूचर। F4 की बात हम लोग करते रहते हैं, लेकिन F4 में क्या सिग्निफिकेंट है वो चीज हम लोगों को सोचनी पड़ेगी। वी ऑल लव रफाल। रफाल बहुत अच्छा फाइटर जेट है। मैं हमेशा बोलता आया हूँ कि है ना मतलब रफाल एक ऐसा फाइटर जेट है जो इंडियन एयरफोर्स को एज प्रोवाइड करेगा, लेकिन क्या वो एज फ्यूचर का एज होगा? तो ये सारी चीजें है ना मतलब बोलते हैं ना इस समय बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है। और जब चीजें बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होती हैं तो डिसीजन नहीं ले पाते हैं लोग। और स्पेसिफिकली जब आपके बिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर वहां पर दांव पर होते हैं, क्योंकि अगर इस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पर इंडियन एयरफोर्स रफाल को कमिट कर देती है तो और कोई फाइटर जेट वो लोग नहीं ले पाएंगे। ये चीज उनको भी पता है।
Hey, Subodhya, now after your speech and all, tomorrow I guess we'll be having a article from PSF guys कि रफाल डिले हुआ है, ये सब नहीं हो पा रहा है, वो सब नहीं हो पा रहा है. We actually have some friends down deep down from western neighbors
हाँ
in our spaces. तो ये पक्का भी कोटेशन में आएगा और उसे दे दिया जाएगा कि एज रिपोर्टेड बाय अल्फा डिफेंस.
नहीं नहीं, तो वो देखो वो चीज एनालिसिस को अगर किसी मेरी जो पर्सनल एनालिसिस है उसको अगर आप रिपोर्ट करना चाहते हैं तो प्लीज डू इट। I'm open to it. But the thing is, like, what we are talking about here is the complexity which we are having here. See, Indian Air Force is an Air Force of a kind, and government of India is a government of a kind which can, tomorrow decide on, like, we are going for another 36 Rafale. I don't care about the politics. They have that kind of, willpower. The 2014 में भी उन लोगों ने कुछ ऐसे ही किए थे, तो अभी भी कर सकते हैं। लेकिन प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पर यह है कि दे नो दैट पाकिस्तान इज सो डाउन। पाकिस्तान की अभी इस समय अपनी इंटरनल सिचुएशन के वजह से हैसियत नहीं है कि वो है ना मतलब इवन है ना मतलब बॉर्डर पर शेलिंग कर सके। ठीक है, तो हम लोग के हिसाब से है ना मतलब जो लोग वहां पे बैठ के प्लानिंग करते हैं उन लोगों के हिसाब से पाकिस्तान को तो वो थ्रेट काउंट करते ही नहीं। और चाइना के साथ में है ना हम लोग जब चीजों को देखते हैं ना तो वी नो दैट कि कितने चाइना के पास मान लो कि 3,000 फाइटर जेट है, 9,000 फाइटर जेट है, बट जो फॉरवर्ड बेसिस हैं वहां पर कितने फाइटर जेट वो लोग एक पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पर डिप्लॉय कर सकते हैं, वो चीज आपको कंसिडर करनी पड़ेगी। आपको ये भी कंसिडर करना पड़ेगा हम लोग प्लेन से उड़ेंगे, वो लोग माउंटेन से उड़ेंगे, कम हथियार कैरी करेंगे वो लोग, कम फ्यूल कैरी करेंगे, सब कुछ आपको कंसिडर करना पड़ेगा। तो और इसी वजह से ना मतलब वो 36 रफाल, दिस इज व्हाई दैट 36 रफाल वाज अ स्ट्रेटेजिक डिसीजन। बट व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट इज लाइक देखो हमारी सिचुएशन जो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी जो बढ़ी है वो इस वजह से नहीं बढ़ी है कि ना मतलब कि रफाल बहुत ज्यादा केपेबल फाइटर जेट नहीं है। और स्पेसिफिकली अगर हम लोग पाकिस्तान के साथ कंपेयर करें तो वो J-10 उन दैट इज द मैक्स दे हैव गॉट, राइट। तो J-10 इज लाइक उसके लिए तो हमको है ना मतलब रफाल तक जाने की जरूरत भी नहीं है। ठीक है, that's the kind of threat which we have it from Pakistan. What we are talking about is China, और चाइना को लेकर है ना मतलब the pack of Sukhoi and Rafale is really potent combination that gives them what is needed specifically in current scenario. Although what we are talking about is the future, and considering that a decision has to be made quickly, faster, uh, and sooner, right? So
I guess that guy might
सुबोध भैया
have got his answer up.
सुबोध भैया
Wait a
मैं
second.
मैं ये बोल रहा था कि
Multi-role fighter jets are waiting since 1980. Actually, the quest
ah,
for the procurement of the multi-role fighter jet dates back to 1980 when India first time bought the Mirage. India wanted to manufacture on its own soil, but it couldn't be progressed. So India waited, and then Soviet offered their MiG-29. India procured some in limited numbers, and then they waited for to evaluate which is the best they would be manufactured in India, but that never came. So since 1980, we're waiting for our multi-role fighter jets to manufactured in India.
No, the
सुबोध
thing
भैया
is they might wait a
एक,
second. Amit bhai, wait a second. You have asked your question. He has given the answer as well. Okay, I'll have to move to another speakers as well.
अगर आपका एक कमेंट है तो कमेंट ले सकते हैं आपका, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है आपका, लेकिन ये
Right.
लेट्स डू
ओके
Agreed.
मेरा
Okay.
यही कमेंट है कि अभी के लिए सबसे बेस्ट डिसीजन ये होता है कि दे विल गो फॉर एटलीस्ट 2 to 3 स्क्वाड्रन ऑफ एनी लाइक फॉरेन जेट्स लाइक राफेल और समथिंग एंड देन
नहीं
दे विल
देखो,
वेट फॉर द
मैं
एमका और समथिंग टू कम अप
नहीं मैंने आपको जैसे बोला ना कि इस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे तो वो होगा नहीं, स्पेसिफिकली द काइंड ऑफ पॉलिटिकली चार्ज एनवायरनमेंट वी आर इन, यू हैव टू कंसिडर दैट देयर आर इलेक्शंस नेक्स्ट ईयर, तो वो चीजों को कंसिडर करते हुए ना मतलब इट्स नॉट हैपनिंग राइट नाउ। और आई बी वेरी हैप्पी कि है ना यार ये गलत साबित हो जाए, जैसे मेरा वो एयर इंडिया वाला साबित हुआ था ना एक, आई सेड टू पीपल कि है ना एयर इंडिया नहीं हो रहा प्राइवेट, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया समहाउ डिड दैट। तो अगर ऐसा कुछ कर देती है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, मैं खुद लड्डू बांटने वाला। तो लेट्स होप फॉर इट।
Yep. Okay, then we'll move towards Narendra bhai. Go ahead, bhai.
Hello. I have a question about Navy, sir. When we talk about Navy warships, we often talk about the tonnage, how big a vessel is, or the number of missiles they can carry. But I want to know what is the situation of our electronics and data connectivity between the system in which we found on a ship. Matlab, where are we stand on this generation of data connectivity? Interconnectivity of system, interconnectivity between ships, or matlab, combined ship warfare.
लवली क्वेश्चन, बहुत बढ़िया क्वेश्चन है। ये चीज है ना नॉर्मली हम लोग है ना वी हार्डली टॉक अबाउट ऑल दिस इन यू नो डे टू डे डिस्कोर्स, but I'll tell you one thing. I was talking to someone in BEL. This was like last year, and the person was telling me about generations of electronic warfare which have come up. And it is not about just Navy, okay? I'll give you the context of Navy, but this is not limited to Navy. I'm talking about across the spectrum, okay? So Navy started inducting systems way back. So I think with the Godavari they started taking on those systems. No, I think I think somewhere around that kind of period. So they started inducting Indian systems, और वो जो चीजें ना मतलब उन लोग वो उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पर कर रहे थे, दे स्टार्टेड कंटिन्यूअसली यू नो डेवलपिंग सिस्टम्स जहां पर सेम क्लास के शिप में जो नेक्स्ट वेरिएंट है उसमें भी ब्लॉक इम्प्रूवमेंट है। तो इट इज लाइक दिस इज वन ऑफ दोज डोमेन्स वेयर वी आर लाइक कंप्लीटली सेल्फ डिपेंडेंट। नगन से आप ले लो या फिर है ना मतलब ये जो सारे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सपोर्ट मेजर हम लोगों ने स्टार्ट किए, उसके बाद है ना ईसीएम और ईसीसीएम सारे ऐड करना शुरू किए विद इन द डोमेन इटसेल्फ, राइट? जो ब्लॉक इम्प्रूवमेंट हुआ है सेम क्लास में जो अगला सिस्टम है दैट इज मोर केपेबल। तो वहां पर है ना काम बहुत शानदार हुआ है, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम ये है कि रेडार एंड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वॉरफेयर इसके बारे में हम लोग बात बहुत कम करते हैं, और ये ऐसे डोमेन है जहां पर हम लोगों ने बहुत शानदार काम किया है एज एन कंट्री।
Yes. I have a simple another question about Navy. So, when we talk about career battle groups, it has one career aircraft carrier and some destroyers, corvette. different type of ships with it. But
Mhm.
we do we have ample number of ships to protect our career at aircraft career, or we not? Matlab,
Oh,
as a
yeah. Interesting question, and I'll give you an interesting answer to this. Okay, so carrier battle group, when we talk about, it is not just one ship or two ship. It is like the complete armada. And imagine this. Okay, so we take it as like INS Vikrant moves out, and it has got four maybe two Kolkata class of ships. Uh, or Vizag class of ship along with it, and then it has got two Nilgiri class of ships, and then probably two Kamorta along with it, and then a Kora class vessel or two Kora class vessel, and then a Jyoti along with it. Now that's the kind of on the surface systems you have got in a carrier battle group. Okay, below water you have got one Arihant and probably one Scorpion class. So if you look at that complete system, what you have got Barakates on Kolkata, you have got Barakate on Nilgiri, and Vikrant itself carries Barak. Okay, so if you see the kind of this uh, the air cover, air hemisphere that gets created around your carrier battle group is enormous. So that's one thing, and then you have uh, we hardly talk about our airborne early warning assets, which are helicopter based. We always say that, like, E2 Hawkeye kind of systems are very very important, but the systems which are based on helos are also capable system, although they are not as capable as E2 Hawkeye, but they are still very potent systems. And when this entire thing moves on, air defense is like, this is why you have aircraft carriers operating in these areas. And some of us sometimes we say that why do we even need an aircraft carrier when air defense is provided by ships like Kolkata and Vizag and Nilgiris. Imagine this. Okay, so you have got a enemy bomber which is like 500 kilometers away from your carrier battle group. With your Barakates, you cannot reach it, and from there, this aircraft, starts deploying sea skimming cruise missiles. That will be a problem for your aircraft carrier. But imagine if there's a Rafale or MiG-29 in air closing in this bomber. What this bomber gonna do, right? So if you see that entire thing, okay, in the larger picture, it is always about that. Uh, all the systems working together in synergy and harmony to get you the results which you need. So that's the answer there.
Okay, one very last question I will not ask after this, but very short.
Yeah,
I need very short
yeah,
answer.
yeah. This is the last question then. Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Do Vikrant class aircraft carrier have the same capability of a Ford class super carrier?
No, they don't.
Thank you.
Okay, sure thing. Ojasvi bhai, go ahead.
अरे आई डिड नॉट हैव अ क्वेश्चन मैं ऑटोमेटिकली स्पीकर बन गया था
Arre,
Congratulations. Now it's
congratulations.
time to go to Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. We need speakers.
Nahi, see, Ghost Operator wasn't getting the speaker access from last space, and
Okay.
you got. We actually have Vinayak Sen also, the CEO of Arma Sen, I guess.
Oh wow. Oh nice. That's good.
What's up, Vinayak bhaiya? But he's not taking up the speaker. ठीक है, कोई नहीं. Okay,
Hello.
Ajay Shri,
He
go
just
ahead, bhai.
no, he's
Yeah,
there.
I have a question. Actually, it is related to recent event. Yeah, when the Bharat Dynamics recently they tested their Amoga missile, anti-tank missile. So there are concurrently three programs going on. The Amoga is going on, MP-ATGM both by BDL, and there is another by the company, private company. So do you think it is feasible to
Asibel,
carry on?
Asibel. You are talking about FAME
Yeah,
technology,
yeah.
Asibel.
Yeah.
Asival, yes, Asival. There are three anti-tank missile program right now going on. I don't think any country is having so many anti-tank missile program of same range at the same
Not
time.
three, four programs. Another is a
Oh,
fifth generation program by L&T. It is based on the French MMP. Four
so
programs is going on simultaneously.
okay. So you think it is feasible, or there is a complete mess up in this field by army?
No, it's not by army. It is about the makers. Like VEM started its own thing, right? They
Yeah,
started working on their own program because they were making the seekers.
yeah.
They had technology, so they thought they can make a product which can be inducted. So
Okay,
that was VEM's system, and what these guys were doing, right? Specifically, the Amoga systems. They initially started this to be a wire guided system, like low cost system that will because you cannot have all your anti-tank guided missiles with IIR seeker. They are costly. Okay, you
okay,
need missiles in the category of Milan and Conquers, right? So
okay,
that's when they started with this program. Now what happened was like that Amoga 1 and 2 were like low cost missile systems. Suddenly with the Tonbo being available, they thought why not integrate a IIR seeker and provide a lower cost variant of NAG, right?
okay,
Not the NAG category, but or like this will be a you can say that NAG light kind of thing. Okay, this will take out armor with 650 ERA, I think 650 millimeter ERA or something.
yes, yes, yes.
So yeah, so that kind of this will be like in between system. So that was their philosophy. Now, what we were making was we on the DRDO side. When I'm saying that on the DRDO side, they made the NAG was cleared, and then they started this new program where they were making this man portable system. Now,
Okay,
man portable system was driven by DRDO and Army together. That is a uh, like that has got a surety of orders. Other
okay,
two are more like looking at the market. They were
okay.
created, and believe me, the anti tank guided missile market is something which will get orders. Like you can have three or four different type of programs, and you can still get orders. Uh, your inventory will be huge.
Right, right.
So and with the kind of inventory we have, we at this point of time we itself we are you have Milan, we have Conquers. I think there were three or four different type of anti-tank guided missiles we are already using. So from that aspect, if you start looking at this is a good scenario to be in, and I think the happiest person on earth at this point of time will be Indian Army.
That's true then.
Yeah.
That's true. Thank you.
Okay, then we'll move towards the next speaker. Yeah, Lakshmikant D. Go ahead, bhai.
सर वो एलसीएस में अभी तक कोई एंटीटेक गाइडेड मिसाइल क्यों इंटीग्रेट नहीं कर गई?
आप बहुत ज्यादा ब्रेक कर रहे हैं, लेकिन आई थिंक आई हैव गॉट योर क्वेश्चन. एलसीएच में एंटी टैंक गाइडेड मिसाइल सिस्टम उसी दिन इंटीग्रेट किया जाएगा जिस दिन इंडियन आर्मी डिसाइड कर लेगा कि उनको कौन सा एंटी टैंक गाइडेड मिसाइल चाहिए वहां पर. ATGM was tested on Dhruv, that is Rudra now. So if the system is already tested on Rudra, you can assume that Helena can be fired from mhm, Prachand. So that's there. But again, I think there's something to do with the decision or something which army has not made up their mind, or this one bit which is missing out there, because of which the decision is not made. And I think that's why the helos do not have anti-tank guided missiles at this moment.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, bhai. Yeah, Varun, bhai. Go ahead with your question. Hello, Varun Jain.
Actually, my question is
there any update on Amca and its prototype?
I have given them around $10 billion in funding.
Okay, so jokes aside, you know, the only bit which is pending here is that we need approval from CCS, and I believe by the year end they're gonna do the CDR bit. So there are a lot of people who will tell you that CDR and CCS are uh, like interdependent, which is not true. It's just that government of India is like uh, yet to sanction the required fund, which is like CCS approval.
But that there are many tests which have to be done on subsystems of Amca. I mean, the basic one is the internal bay. Okay, they have to do the dynamics testing of that as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it will take time.
dynamic testing. See, internal weapons bay. I'll tell you one thing, which uh, I don't know how many of you are aware of it, but I think around 7 years ago, okay, they had this facility where they had internal weapons bay tested. The base which they thought will be needed for Amca. Then what came up was like the uh, the profile of fighter jet was changed. The requirement was changed uh, because that became more formal. Air Force gave its requirement, and that's when they realized it that it requires dynamic testing on that internal weapon space to make sure that the system operates in those conditions, which Indian Air Force underlined. So that thing is still pending. I think that should also happen by uh, I think somewhere around October or something. It should happen. That's uh, that's what the internal timeline says. But as I said, that the other things which we are talking about are not related to approval from CCS. It's CCS approval. I think it is more to do with commitment of funds at this moment, and I think they are like uh, uh, they are not. Uh, like they haven't made up their mind with that if they really want to commit all the funds to this program, because what will happen is like the moment they will commit the funds, they will come end up you know giving the charge back to the makers, like even if they delay for a year or two, they will not have a say, right? Although I always say that we should always look at from this perspective that we are playing from the same team, but it doesn't work that way at the ministry level. So that's what the things are.
We have
Even
one
that's
more
the case,
question.
right? Even with the SPV, they haven't decided on that. And many
Oh,
companies didn't bid for the SPV as well.
No one, no, none of the private company came up for the SPP. I believe.
Only,
Oh,
only one.
no,
Even one.
they came up as an not a partner there, but for the subsystem. So
we have one
They
more
also
question.
only came for the subsystems.
yeah, they are also for subsystem.
Bhai Sahab, matlab, I don't have any hopes for the second one because what they're doing right now is let's not talk about it. But the
Yeah,
first one, I had
it's depressing.
some
It is
confirmation.
it is really depressing the way this entire thing is moving, right? uh, Problem is like uh, we believe that public sector companies are it is like they inherit that slow working nature because of the bureaucracy involved, and we were trying to solve that problem with the SPV, and now what has happened is like this SPV itself has become a problem because that is adding up a lot of delay. Now that's disappointing, disheartening.
One more question, Bia.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Bia, any update on EOTS system of Amca?
No, I think initially they were rushing through that, but forces were like they have given them time that the system can come up at a later point of time. They were like this is not one of those their top priorities. They are okay with the IRST.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Or wait a second, they have given me questions on DM as well. Okay, Raj has a question for you, Subodh bhai. Currently, we are seeing Lancet eating up tanks and howitzers in Russia-Ukraine war. We may face a similar problem from China. What are we doing, or what can we do to counter this? This is the first. Yeah, this is the only question.
What is the first bit? What is eating up?
The Lancet eating up tanks and
Okay.
howitzers.
Lancet. Okay. Uh, okay. See, let me finish off this part. Okay. Indian Army has recently inducted a lot of drones, like small unmanned aerial vehicles, a lot of them, and they have also inducted countermeasure systems. Now, the future tanks which they are planning, be it the FMBT or the FRCV tank, they have anti-drone warfare as one of the criterias in that. Same with the I think Zoravar, the light tank. They have mentioned it. They need a tank that is capable of anti-drone warfare. So from that aspect, they are pretty much uh, you know they are understanding the battlefield really well. They are considering it, and they are making provisions for that.
Hey, adding to that, there's a DDF project for it as well. If you know that, I've given that file to you regarding
Yeah.
that AI detection of tanks and
Correct. So
yeah,
that no, what I'm talking about is like something of the caliber of Lancet, right? From that, if you look at, I think all our tanks will come equipped with uh, systems that can take on that kind of threat.
yeah, they can. There was another question. What was it?
But
Eagle one.
like since we have Sankalan here, okay, I'll initiate a small discussion here. Okay, so there's a work going on with the T-72s. Uh, they are getting the new engines for those tanks, and they are also getting better protection for those tanks. So I think a lot of light tank requirement can be fulfilled by T-72. And since we have got like huge number of T-72s, there's uh, a hybrid tank which is under testing at HBF, where they have got uh, you know uh, T-72 with Bhishma turret. I don't know how like who thinks all this, but someone thought this and they have come up with this and they have started testing that. I don't know how successful they're gonna be, but this looks exciting.
Yep. We have other speakers as well. Yep. Soumik is there. Yeah, go ahead, bhai. Your voice is breaking, Soumik. You can DM me the question. You can DM me the question. I'll ask. Your voice is breaking.
Soumik was sounding as if I haven't toned my strings properly, and I was like playing the major strings. Okay, and I'm not talking that. Okay, leave it.
Sure thing. Shivanand, go ahead with your question. Soumik, you can DM me the question. I'll just ask.
Hey, hi guys. So I have three questions. So the first is about the minesweepers. So if I remember correctly, a Korean vessel was considered fit for
I think
requirements.
I think on that same thing we did a video a couple of days ago, and because of copyright the video was taken down.
Okay.
In Indian Indian Navy is going a different route altogether. They are getting a unmanned surface vessel that will be capable of doing mine warfare, and they're doing it with the Make 2, where industry will fund in this program, and they will come up with a prototype. They have given a timeline of like 2 years approximately. That's when we're gonna see the prototype. and then they have a timeline of like 6 months to test and deploy that. So, which is really interesting. I think something of in the category of Raytheon's Barracuda is what we're gonna see there. What I'm uh, doing with my video is that I'm taking the voiceover again and then taking out the footage which I ended up using. It was a Turkish footage which I used it to represent uh, uh, unmanned surface vessel. Uh, so I'll remove that and I'll repost the video in a couple of days.
Okay. And my final question is, the fighter jets from our carriers. So when launched from the ski jump, will they be able to carry any sea skimming cruise missiles, or they can only carry this air to air?
No, they carry sea skimming cruise missiles. They are I think there are photographs where we have seen that they carry cruise missiles.
Okay. Because the fuel capacity and everything due to the ski jump, so they can't carry enough fuel, and also the payload also there is a lot of the cap on it, so that's very nice.
See, it is the concept is it is true that there are some limitations, but the concept is oversold. It is not that uh, these fighter jets cannot carry cruise missiles or they cannot carry drop tanks. They MiG-29 K frequently carry these cruise missiles. I think maybe after this space I'll tweet the photograph which I have.
Okay, okay.
So actually,
Yeah, okay.
sure thing.
Thank you.
Now I have questions from the DMs. Okay, what happened to the LMG and carbine tender? It's progressing well, going through technical trials. And about light tank Zoravar, you might see some bit in May or in June. That's the update about light tank Zoravar. And another for you, I guess, discussion regarding RUAV and cats. Sagar bhai, what discussion you want? Ask Subodh bhaiya to make that video up. I've already given him all the information. He's a bit lazy enough.
I'll do it today.
Sure thing. And that's a projection, okay? By the way, that's a projection. I got a confirmation from someone. Okay. There's Arey bhai, this is the biggest bhai sahab. Okay, so what we have? Here's a question for you. I'm pretty sure Zain is copying. I'm pretty sure China is copying S-400 right now, and then it can be offered to Pakistan as well. So should we not give it a try? All subsystem exist for SAM making in India, so it might be easy. We are already making a one known as Project Kusha, LRSM, for land as well as for navalized variants. Okay, this is the only update I can give you. Rest all updates, Subodh Bhaiya will give in a video. And another one, which is your favorite one. So yeah, this is your favorite question. How much is the life of our Kaveri engine comparable to Russian or Western?
See, Kaveri engine, I think this is one of those things where we should acknowledge and appreciate that it is, the way these engines are tested, they have given or proved that the life is much more than the Russian variant. This is like, you should always remember the philosophy which we use for Kaveri is more of westernized than, Eastern Bloc. So that one advantage which comes with Kaveri is that because of the Western philosophy, we are creating more reliable engine. Although there comes a technological challenge along with it, we could have gone the easier route which China has chosen to. But we always have this, like, we try to go for the excellence. And I think with the Kaveri, we tried that. We failed, but we learned a lot of things. And then we did few things, and there are few things which are happening. Some of that I can talk about, some of that I cannot. So that you will see a lot of things in like couple of years around GTI. So brace yourself. That's all I'm going to say here.
Yeah, because the space is in record, so that's the reason it's better not to talk about that. There's another question that Eagle guy had a question for you. Number one question was China have large rocket force consisting of BM, CM, etc. If they can launch offensive against military installations against India by rocket force rapidly, what can be defense and retaliation for us? This is the first question. Okay, what's yes, what's your answer regarding that?
Yeah. So the first part of it is like when we talk about the Chinese rocket force, we have point defense systems that will give you some sort of protection only for the crucial area. We should always remember whenever there's a attack, it is always done to achieve some objective. And we often see that that Pakistanis they said we came in and we threw some bombs in your fields and then we went back. That's not an objective. That's propaganda, right? When you have an objective, you have a specific installation which you want to take out, and that installation will have point defense. So if China gonna try something like that, they're gonna target a specific installation which will naturally have point defense. But then comes a concept called saturation. They can actually launch a lot of missile systems which we cannot defend, right? So maybe some of those things will be taken down as well. Like some of those installations can be taken down by China. But then comes the retaliation and the deterrence factor. Now, say for example, Chinese took out one of our high value targets. Then you're going to launch your missile, your MBRLs, your rocket. We do not have rocket force as such, but doesn't mean that we don't have rockets or we don't have missiles. We have a huge inventory. And because of that, what happens is comes another factor called deterrence that will stop China from doing something like that.
Sure, I think there's another question. Somik's question. Okay, he has asked three questions in a row. Why did we order him Shakti when Sam Vijay was there? Are it better? I'll just avoid this question for a while. It's already
I have
mentioned.
I have a question again.
Wait a second. I'm just getting all the questions right. Okay. I'll just avoid this Him Shakti one because it was already mentioned in the PIB press release why it was being procured. Okay. L&T is working on their FICV with DRDO. Then why DRDO voted for advanced armored platform? Okay. L&T is not working with DRDO for their FICV. That's not the FICV. Consists of three things. Okay. Number one is a wheeled platform, which is based on VAP, which you now call Kestrel. Kestrel is actually a name given by Tata, not by DRDO. So it will be based on Kestrel. Besides the hull will be composite. We'll use a lot of composites and all that you have seen in that CIECV. सुबोध भी आवाज आ रही है मेरी? Hello.
I can hear you.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, fine. UV rays keep going. Again, where did I was it off? I guess in wheel platform, right? Okay, for wheel platform, there's a thing. They're still trying to get more vendors into it. So that's the reason for a fair competition, they have floated the tender up. Now, the second one is a track platform, which will go as for the FICV requirements of Indian Army. You might see that go for a make one category, that FICV tender. I guess the AON is out. If they win it, then obviously 60% of the contract will go to them. So that's the reason for a more open and better contracts, they are going with the open tender. That's the only thing. How many MPR Arudras are ordered? So, do you have any idea about it? Because I don't have anything on that Arudra radar.
The latest one, my calculation suggested it was 12, but we don't know the exact number.
Okay, sure thing. Wait a second, if they have any other questions. Ah, oh, this is a nice question. Why 114 MRFA, not 114 Air Force version of TED-BF? If not for the timeline, it will save us a lot of forex. Can ADA deliver it on IAF on it if IAF insists on it? See, IAF will not insist on TED-BF. Let me get this on record. Okay, if this if the Orca variant, which was supposed to be the IEF's variant of TED-BF happens, then Subodh Bhaiya will give 10,000 to you. Okay. Ek, do, teen. On record, I'm saying this, it won't happen. But there are various technical problems which they have to address on. You've seen the transition from LCA to LCA, the normal Air Force LCA to Naval LCA. There are a lot of subsystems which were made, and all. Of course, that BF to Orca won't be that much of difficult, but then Air Force wants a fighter jet which is war capable, war proven, already proven fighter jet. So that's the reason they won't go in for TED BF as of now. So, do you have anything to add to it?
I think the technological challenges can be overcome. That is not the showstopper here. Larger problem is the timeline. They are looking to address their immediate requirement, and 10BF is not available till 2032. And then Navy gonna get their 10BF. So probably if we are talking about Orca, that's gonna be 2035. I don't think in 2035 we need a fighter jet of that category. Specifically considering the fact that Amca Mark 1 will be available in beast mode as well, where you can actually operate the system as 4.5 dimension fighter.
Oh, so he has given him a file as well. Okay. Also, there is gonna be an Arjun Mark 3 that will be known as FRC, that NGMBT. I know which file you have given me. They forgot to mention that. Okay, that's just a printing mistake. Okay, I guess we are out. Okay, this is a good question. This is the last question which I'll take from DMs, then we'll shift to the space. So, yeah, there's a question for you. Multiple forums have expressed the perspective that the Kolkata and Vishakhapatnam class destroyers are inadequately armed. I would appreciate your views on it.
See, consider that there are two ships which are fighting, like in a open sea. Now, one ship has got like 200 missile systems, and another one has got like some 20. Consider that when the battle will take place, how much time they will have, and how many missile systems they're gonna use. Hardly 5 to the max, right? So, do you think we need 200 missile systems on a ship like that? That's the first angle. Second thing is, like, when there's a ship which has got like 200 missile systems on it, it becomes even more vulnerable. And then we should always consider that the ships a ship can take maximum another ship or maybe two. Because what happens, like, when we start thinking that one ship can destroy 35 different ships, that's not practical. And this is why I always tell people to go and see this series, which was I think it is on Prime, called The Last Ship. Although the series is all about a virus and all that, but it touches on the naval aspect, where you will see a Russian ship against American ship, and then Astute class submarine and all that, which is really nicely done. And when you see that aspect, one ship versus another ship, you will get a larger perspective there, and that's why you will realize that it is not always that a ship needs 200 missile systems to take on the enemy. Yeah, it requires a potent missile system which has larger range, faster speed, and probably more reliable, better seeker. And then lesser response time of your subsystem. And if you have all that, I don't think you will require more than 32 of those. So that's my take.
Sure, I think we'll take up the last question. Um, Varun, go ahead, bhai. Ask your question.
Yeah, I have seen videos on YouTube that tell the nuclear reactor used in Arihant class submarines are way less
Bye.
educated than the other reactors in other submarines.
You have smaller submarines. So, like when you talk about Ariane is a small submarine, right? And that's why your reactor is smaller. And just a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to someone who actually worked on that project, and he tells me that it is much easier to make larger reactor than smaller reactor bigger because you do not have to do the miniaturization. And when that problem is taken out, you can do anything which you want. So that's there.
Okay, then any other questions or Shiv, bhai, you have any, or else we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Sure, then. Thanks, bhai. Good night. तो
Thank
सोच भैया
you.
मिलते हैं फिर
All right. Bye
बाद
bye.
में. Bye guys. Good night.